Hey, what's up, guys and gals? My name is Ricknineg. Let's do another live stream. This is live stream what? I gotta look. Is this number 41? Yes, it is 41. Hopefully you guys and gals are doing amazing. Isn't that crazy? 41. We are nearing almost a full year of non-stop. Well, not non-stop, but of all of these live streams, which is awesome. Thank you for joining me. Hello, everyone in the chat. Hello, everyone who is a silent watcher. There are people also who, just like to watch and maybe not contribute in the chat, and that is fine as well. You are silent supporters, and that is always great. We're going to be watching and talking about and discussing all of those things at the same time. Lucy Goes to Mexico. I always try to put the name of the episode down below in the description so that you can kind of follow along or see what we're talking about, because people ask me, what episode are we doing? And so that's a nice way, cheat your way into getting the episode. So thank you all for coming. Arthur, Kimberly, hello, Cassandra, Kippy, and Nikki. Awesome. Announcing names of people who are in the chat. So that's one of the benefits, that I shout you out, I say hello, I try to answer as many questions as possible. And we have fun. We have fun talking about Lucy and all these cool things. Or we don't need to talk about Lucy. We can talk about the Stooges or aviation, or you guys kind of steer the conversation. Christopher, how are you? I saw your comment on my last video, which was on, what was my last video on? Oh yeah, it was on the salaries of Desi and Lucy, and some people were, it makes me laugh because some people are like kind of upset. They were like, how come you didn't do, well, there's a lot to it. And so I dedicate a whole video on that, and you got it. So if you guys ever want to see something, go ahead and just let me know, and then boom, I'll make a video on it. So yes. Let me see. I'm not watching Celebrity Big Brother. Should I be watching it? Is there someone cool on the show who I should be watching? Happy Sunday as well. Just got here. Well, we just started, so you're just in time. If you stick around, we just started 2 minutes ago, so it is perfect. You see I Love Lucy on Amazon Prime. Oh, did they add the episodes recently? That's kind of cool. So let's talk a little bit about this episode. Lucy Goes to Mexico. Why is it so important? Well, this is the beginning of the 8th season of I Love Lucy, 1958 to 1959. This is nearing the end of the series as we know it. We now have Desi Arnaz as the executive producer. No longer, well, Jess Oppenheimer left a while ago. But we started to see a lot of changes in terms of Desi's running the show now, and I'm sure that put a lot of stress in his life and so forth, probably in Lucy's as well. He was in the 7th season as well. And then we have just a list of all of these people who helped make the show a possibility. Even Hal King, he was there from the very beginning, the makeup guy, and I talk a little bit about him in the last episode that I did on Lucy's nose. So take a look at that one, and when they light her nose on fire. They had sponsors and so forth. But Lucy Goes to Mexico, that was a October 6, 1958 release, episode 6. We have little Ricky. We have Maurice Chevalier playing himself. This is listed as a Mexican boy. Alan Costello, which would be correct because this is Mexico, so he would be a Mexican boy. Customs Officer Charles Lane. He is in so many I Love Lucy episodes and other shows as well. Let's see. The Consul, Addison Richards. He was in another... Yeah, he was Uncle Alberto. Yeah, he was Uncle Alberto in the Cuba episode. Bullfighter, Chalo Chacon. Something's got to give, something's got to give, something's got to give. That was a good number. Louise was great. La Cucaracha. Valentine, I like the Valentine one. Mimi and Yankee Doodle Dandy. Wow, lots of stuff. Virginia, thank you. Awesome that you are on the live chat for the first time. Hello and welcome. Cynthia, everything is well. Hope all is well with you. You want to ask a question? Absolutely. Shoot the question. You watched the Vacation for Marriage. We saw the Mertz's bedroom. Yeah, that's one of the first times. I think it's the first time we saw the Mertz's bedroom. Yeah, isn't that cool? So we have seen all of their apartment. We've seen all of their apartment. We've even seen their kitchen. Can you remember where did you see the Mertz's kitchen? What episode? Oh yeah, I gotta make an episode on that. On their whole apartment. That's cool. Thank you for that. I think I have to give you credit, Cynthia. Give me one sec. Let me just get... Sorry about that. I have my little idea book. You guys know about my little idea book that is filled I can say I'm proud to say, like, my most popular video, the one that almost reached 700,000 views, which is nuts. I put the idea in here, and so I gotta do that. I gotta add this. Okay. Versus apartment tour. Oh, yes, look at that. Kimberly, can you tell me where Desi went to school at? That's a good question. I know he went to school for a little bit in Cuba, but then he came to the U.S. I'm going to have to do a little more research on that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure when he was in the States. Yeah, good question. Hello, Alec. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on that, but that's a good one. Did they use any part of the Ricardo's bedroom or design a new one? Oh, that's a great one. I'm going to have to look at that scene again, Cynthia, because, yeah, the setup might be the same. I want to make sure where all the main things like the doors and the windows are, but that's a great question. That gives you a big clue, because holes are holes. They can patch them up, but usually they didn't do that in the first season. I mean, they were trying to, first and second season, trying to save money. And so, yeah, that is great. You can't stay for long, but have a great weekend, everyone, as well. Well, thank you. Thanks for dropping by. That means a lot. Jims, what I first remember about this episode, let me start the episode, boom, is Lucy's iconic polka dot dress in the 58 Buicks that we're driving. Yeah, Lucy and polka dots. Well, it was a thing back in the 50s, right? I didn't live in the 50s, but I definitely heard that as well. Hello, Linda. Hopefully you're feeling better. Never do business with friends. Absolutely, Alec. You got it. That's the episode where you see their kitchen. So you see their bedroom, see their kitchen, see the living room. I mean, well, I guess you don't see their bathroom. You get to see the Ricardo's bathroom. But I mean, yeah, I don't think you see their bathroom. Arthur, Lucy and Ethel seem to have aged so much from the last season to last season. The comedy hour is only 2 years. You know, the only thing I could say to that, Arthur, is that they were both going through a divorce at roughly the same time. I would say that Desi looked very similar, although because he was a drinker, you know, the realities of drinking are you kind of puff up and you turn kind of red and you have like your body absorbs that and it's a poison, and so it kind of leaks through your skin. It makes your skin look oily and just gives it a very unique look. And I can tell he has that, like in season 6, especially in this season, season 8. So let's see. The writer for this episode, writer Everett Freeman, shared writing credit with Schiller and Weisskopf, one of the two writers of I Love Lucy, by helping brainstorm the story premise. Ralph Berger, who was mentioned many times on I Love Lucy, was assisted by Claudio Guzman, another art director, and Jeremy Miggins. We've heard of Jeremy Miggins. He was the prop guy on the show. So whenever let's say there was a little frog, that episode where Little Ricky had little pets and there was a little frog, where Jeremy Miggins had to go and get a frog. And he had to go and work out the paper mache, that I call it, the paper mache, or the actual loaf of bread in the Pioneer Woman episode, and so forth. And so there's people who think about all this stuff. They had to look for all these things or come up with all these things. And Jeremy Miggins worked with Sandy Grace on set decoration. So that's kind of cool. I guess they needed more people to work on that. And there was a border scene in this episode that we're going to eventually get to, which was interesting because people think that's outside. It's not. That's indoors. Everything in this was indoors. Now, there's one where they show the whole bullfighting arena. That's none of the actors. That's like other footage that they stuck in there that they got at another time. So, yes. Yes. And now Lucy has her signature, like Arthur was saying, her polka dots. But also she has her different hairstyle. She has her different hairstyle that started in the uranium episode. I would say Lucy, the later years type hairstyle. And then now they're having a big fight at the start of the episode, and it has Lucy and Ricky, and it has to do with Lucy trying to buy things. She wants to go to Mexico, and she wants to cross the border, and Ricky's like, no, you're going to get in trouble. You always get me in trouble, and Maurice Chevalier, as he says, is there as well. I don't know, I like Chevalier, like him. I liked him in this episode. It's not necessarily my favorite, but I think it's fairly good. There are good moments in it. And I like Chevalier in it. I like the fact that he was, again, a big star. and he wasn't just in the U.S. Like, he was known all over the world, and he was an older guy. He was very much an older guy. And what impressed me was that I believe he was a lifelong bachelor, and it impressed me very much that he allowed himself to like go in the back of Lucy's trunk, like to fit in the car. Like, again, how they humble themselves. Like, this is the first time we see this. I made a connection to someone, I can't remember, that, you know, England has their royalty. They have their king and their queen and their princes, and we're amazed when they see the princes go and help out the poor and stuff. Well, we don't have royalty in the U.S. And I think the closest thing we have are celebrities. And the cream of the crop are celebrities, or people like, you know, Lucy and Desi, I would say, and artists like Maurice Chevalier. And for them to be doing these things, John Wayne, making fun of themselves, I think that's hilarious. I think that's great. Makes me like them even more. Think about it. What do you guys think is American royalty? Would you say it's the celebrities of today? Let's see. So, Cynthia, I remember the episode, but Lucy and Desi were going out and Ricky was showering. Water gets turned off. That is where you see the Ricardo's bathroom. Oh, yes. So, yes, the Ricardo's bathroom. You actually get to see it twice. That was in Bonus Bucks. Yes, that was in Bonus Bucks. And also in Season 6. All the way. And Bonus Bucks was in Season 3. Yes. Season 6, we have the episode, brain fart. Oh, geez. Where Lucy is, Ricky learns to play the drum. And what happens in that one, Lucy's washing her face. She has like soap all over her face, and Ricky's showering. And then Fred turns off the water, and they don't have water, and you're in the bathroom. And so that's another time where you see their bathroom. Good catch there. Good catch there. Yes. I love when you guys do that. That is great. Hello, Ash. Hello. Also in the audition and draft, and off the top of my head, you're right. So audition is, we see the first apartment and that the respective bathroom, because later they move, right, and they have another bathroom, obviously, and it changes, so that's pretty consistent. I like that. And drafted. Why did they go to the bathroom and drafted? I haven't watched Drafted in a long time, to be honest with you, so it's not ringing a bell. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna have to go back to Season 1. But we are, after we finish with the Lucy-Desi Comedy Hour and talking about it, I'm going to start all over and go back to Season 1. So that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Which episode are you talking about, Richard, where they wanted a divorce, or later that time? King Desi and Queen Lucy. That's funny. Arthur, your aunt, your dad's sister, was best friends with Desi's sister in Cuba. Awesome. Since they were kids. And you told me you're part Cuban, so that's awesome. Or you are Cuban. A lot of us Latinos, we don't even say we're part. We say we're Cuban, we're Mexican, we're Argentinian, we're Spanish, you know. Your dad was adopted, she was like 20, and Desi was like 6 when your dad moved in from Cuba. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Any anecdotes you can tell us about Desi's sister? That'd be cool. If you want to put that in the comments, that'd be great, so we can add it on to the community and let people understand. I'm doing great, Holly. How are you? I'm trying to look at people's pictures. Some people have pictures. I see you with a younger little girl. That's cool. When they go to Mexico, you're going to have to remind me. Let's see, Richard. When does she say divorce? Well, she just mentions it, right? It happens in a lot of episodes. There's even a joke with Ethel or Lucy. No, Lucy has the mink coat. And then Lucy says, I got something that every wife wishes her husband would give her. And Ethel goes, a divorce? I think that's a great line. Do you guys remember that one? That was in I think that's redecorating the Mertz's apartment. Because Lucy was going to get a mink, but then they never get it because they put that money into redecorating the Mertz's apartment. The Mertz's got so many things from being friends with the Ricardos. I'm sorry, Maurice Chevalier, as Ricky would say. Yeah, Cynthia, that too. Definitely. I guess sometimes politics would be like that as well. But yeah, but going back to celebrities, it's one of those things where, I don't know, sometimes we give them the idea or we create this illusion in our head that they're untouchable. And so I really love that idea of them making themselves, you know, a little vulnerable on camera. I think that was cool. Spree Star. You like my videos? Well, thank you. I appreciate that you enjoy them and you watch them. Do you watch, what do you mostly watch? I don't want to presume. What do you mostly like watching? Okay, so here is, this is a real exterior shot. Lucy's in the car with Chevalier and Ethel. Or was that Fred? See, I think they used doubles there. Yes, and now there's like an exterior scene, but it's not really exterior. There's a burro there, and then there's Lucy, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 cars at the most. It's a big set, but that is definitely enough to fit in the studio. Remember, the hotel that they used when they started out was the primary location. Then we have the huge area where the club was. That was the largest section, and this is probably where this was. Especially you can tell from the camera angles. You can tell where the camera is pointing. Remember the 3 cameras? So if you see a shot, it's angled, let's say, toward the right, and the camera is like this, then you know most likely it's this part of the stage. Same thing if it's this way, you kind of have to be aware of it. But yeah, it's just interesting to notice. Linda, what I notice a lot is whenever Ethel says Fred never buys her any new clothes, she always has new clothes on. Yes, and I think that was on purpose, Linda. I don't think that's a blooper. I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but that's a really good point that I want to bring attention to. I don't think that was like an error. I think that's purposeful in the sense of like, it's either like a joke. Like, yeah, Ethel does have new clothes every once in a while, but not as much as she wants. And so she whines about it. And then, you know, it's like we tend to exaggerate things. So I think that was part of the character. So that's a good one. I like that you brought that up. So, so you like the bloopers and the ones about the sets. That's awesome. Very, very cool. So I'm guessing Lucy stuff, because I do other Lucy stuff. I do Three Stooges stuff as well, and I have tons of bloopers on there. When am I going flying again? Well, I had my 2-hour ground lesson on weather on Wednesday, this past Wednesday. I was supposed to fly on Friday, but we were grounded because of weather. We had really low clouds. We had these really weird layer of it's like this weird marine layer. It's very common in the mornings and the evenings. And this wasn't like it was too early, but sometimes it drags on into the afternoon, so I couldn't. So hopefully on Thursday, I will be flying, and I'll probably just combine the footage from Wednesday, which is not much, to the one I have over here. And I'm really getting close, according to my instructor, soloing. That's going to open a lot of doors because I'm going to be flying on my own a lot, and I could hook up things however I want, and not to say that it's like, he doesn't tell me I can't, because he even asks me, he's like, are you still filming? And I am. I have my cameras kind of hidden, just to not distract from the learning process. But it'll be a point where I can mount my cameras wherever I want, in a safe manner, of course, and just let them record. And then, like, I'm not waiting for everyone. Like, if I'm doing all that, that's 5-10 minutes where I'm mounting and putting cameras on and doing that. And if he's there, like, that's taking away from his time. So I want to be as efficient as possible. So when I solo, I can mic myself up and all that good stuff. So yes. Yes, I did see Cynthia, that dress that Ethel was wearing. She looked pretty good. It was like I could mistake it, but I think she looks good in white. I think she had like a really nice, well, she was trying to show off for Fred, right? Trying to make him jealous. So yes, absolutely. Spree Star, I've been asked that question. I'm glad you asked it again, because I think as you grow and change, you evolve. And so I've been asked that, and I really didn't know what to ask. And now I think I know. It's very simple. What would I say to Lucy if I could have met her? Very simple. I would have asked her, what does she think of my videos? Like, honestly, I would like to know. And if she gives me some constructive criticism, because she was a perfectionist, and I would gladly take it, and I would love to like interview her if I had the opportunity, which I can't. Obviously, she's no longer with us. But of course, you know, there's other possibilities. Her daughter and her son's alive, and some of the offspring of the children of the people who are on the show are still around, and younger brothers and sisters and stuff. So that's always possible. There's always a link to the show. And so, yeah. What does she think of my videos? That is my question. You know nothing of Cuba, Arthur. Your dad didn't come here by choice. Your abuela, which means grandma, thought he was getting involved protesting Castro. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I'm with you on that. There was a lot of moving, and that was like a big blooper. I think Ethel. Hold on. I'm getting distracted here, but I think Ethel. Okay, Ethel is holding a basket and a box. She literally drops or throws the box on the ground, and she keeps walking. She no longer has that box. I want to see if that's true. Yep. No longer the box. I'm trying to see. The camera's panning. Oh, no. Now she has the box. So I think the box fell and they cut, and then she grabbed it again. That was weird. I never noticed that until now. But yes, a lot of people move different places because of situations. Yes, yes, yes. What about wearing Google glasses to record videos when you're flying? Well, when I'm inside the cockpit, I have mounted glasses on my head. And so that's how I do that. So I am doing that. They're not Google glasses per se, but they are camera glasses. I really don't reveal much about that because I'm not going to say it's a trick. Anyone can go and do it. But, sometimes we don't want to say how we do things. It's like, we have a little trade secrets here and there and so forth. And so, yeah, that has been really helpful because I don't even remember that they're on. And then I can just fly and not worry and be safe. And there's sunglasses, too. So that's kind of cool. But only you guys in the live chat know. Cynthia, you know what I would have said? Thank you for all the joy you gave us. This is what I've said of Lucy. Oh, that's very great. And people have told her, I see interviews where people told her thank you and stuff. And so what I really like is that she knew, maybe she didn't know, like obviously she didn't meet all of her fans, but hopefully she got a really, really good idea of like how important this is, that we're talking about the show 60 plus years after. And they're like, I'm spending an hour talking about the show. Like, that's nuts. That's nuts. And people are tuning in from all over the United States to watch me talk about her show. Like, that's crazy. That's still crazy to me. And I think that would still blow her away. I know her daughter has seen my videos. And it's just interesting to feel that link and that she was appreciative. I mean, that means a lot. That goes a long way. Flying, so excited. You mean, Christopher, when you used to go flying? You miss flying? That is awesome. Remind me again of your history with flying. Because I have a few people on my channel, believe it or not, that are either pilots or interested in flying or, and they tell me different stories. So it's kind of cool. Kind of cool. She sent him here and he lived with my Aunt Elle. Awesome. So that's good. They settled over here in the U.S. Hello, Katie. How are you? And there he is, Mr. Charles Lane, playing a customs officer. And someone said it. They were like, another time where they were arrested, it was like a de facto time, was when they were trying, let me see. They were trying to get across the border, and they were detained by the guards there. So that's kind of cool. Oh, man, Les Paul, you want to get me in trouble by saying Ginger and Marianne? I don't think I could pick one. Like, do I need to pick one? Is that an obligation? I don't know if I could pick one. I like both for different reasons. It's kind of like guacamole or salsa. You're really going to make me choose between guacamole or salsa? I love both. They're great. They're both great. I was watching Gilligan's Island again yesterday. I think I'm going to get more into the episodes and so forth. Let me see here. Okay, let me open this up. Jims, would you say that Charles Lane equals one of the greatest character actors of all time? There's a lot of them. Charles Lane, then who else do we have? We have Frank Nelson, right? We have tons, at least on I Love Lucy, right? So Lucy and the gang, except for Rick, you're having trouble getting across the border. And now we have the whole Valentina dance, which I think is amazing. What I love is that it starts in French, and then it goes to Spanish with Desi, and then it goes to Little Ricky in English. I think that's great. I think it's, I don't know. I think it's just really fun to see that the coming together of the French, the Spanish, and the English culture, and seeing the difference, because it's the same song and they're singing the same song just in different languages. And I don't know. I think that's just beautiful, and it's in the same number. Yeah, and they have the showgirls there, and then the showgirls change as well, which I think is pretty cool. You have the girls that look very French, and then they walk off. Chevalier walks off. And then the music changes a little bit to like Spanish conga type thing. The girls all have dark hair now. They're wearing more like Cuban outfits. Desi comes in, and now it's very Cuban-esque. It's really cool. I love that. And then you have that little girl that comes in with little Ricky and Valentina. Yeah, it's great. Oh, you used to fly out of the Redlands Municipal Airport. That's cool. Redlands, California. That is awesome. You don't fly anymore, I'm guessing. It's really, really fun. Like, I wish I would have gotten into it earlier, but I'm happy I'm doing it now. I'm happy I'm doing it now because this is when I was able to, and so, I'll take it. You should try to interview Teensy and Wincy, the two twins of the prison guard at Bad Fork. That would be interesting. I'd have to figure out how to contact them. And, as a lot of these people get older, it's almost like less people know about them, less interest in them, and it's almost like they would be honored more to be interviewed. Like Sherwood Schwartz, the creator of like Brady Bunch and what else? Gilligan's Island, of course. I wanted to interview him in his 90s, and I was able to find all of his information. And when it's one of those things where you just don't get to it, it's unfortunate. And he passed away like within those weeks that I was looking, and I was just so bummed because I was like the creator of Gilligan and Gilligan's Island, and I love that show. And so, sometimes you have to take these opportunities. So I'm with you on that. Spree Star, remember Charles Lane as the original banker on the Lucy Show? He was on the Lucy Show as well. Yep. He was on tons of Lucy stuff. Oh, little Richard Keith. He was pretty good. He wasn't an expert, but I think he was good like musically with his drums, and I mean, he's young. He was definitely a child actor. He would look at people and he would look at the cameras when he wasn't supposed to and stuff. Flying is going great, Katie. I'm excited. I think I'm getting a lot better at it. I feel a lot more comfortable. I'm looking, not that I didn't look forward to it more, but I was more like frightened. I was like, oh no, how am I going to mess up? Like your brain tells you that, it's your brain, these negative thoughts, and you're trying to get them out. That's why I tell you guys, like, stay positive, because don't think I'm Mr. Positive all the time and perfect all the time. I have my frustrations and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I gotta be focused. And now I'm a lot more confident. I think that's a big thing. My confidence has gone up, not to the point where I'm dumb, like I'm making dumb decisions. I'm like, oh, let me see what's the dumbest thing I can do, but confidence enough where like I'm excited to get back in. I'm very confident when I drive. Well, I'm building up that confidence when I fly. Today's Ginger's birthday, so I'm guessing Tina Louise's birthday, right? 80? That's nuts. I can't believe that. That's awesome. You met Teensy and Weensy, the Borden twins. They're so sweet. One of them passed away. Really? Oh, wow. I didn't know about that. Arthur, so have you seen, I'm sure you've seen my flying videos, right? So this is a great question. Is it true that before you go up in the air, you have to fart or burp? Because if you go up in the air with any gas in your body, and you just... I thought you meant the plane. I don't think so. You have to actually fart or burp the plane. That's what I thought you were regarding, not to the individual. I've never done that. But like for the plane, yes, if you watch either the last lesson or the lesson before, I do like a wide shot of me looking at the plane and kind of going over it. There's a time where I'm turning the prop like a madman. And what I'm doing is you have to burp you're burping the engine. Basically, you're doing that to manually pump all the oil out out of the engine and into the reservoir that holds. It's a dry sump lubrication system, and so you get the proper measurement. So obviously, there's always leftover oil in the engine. You want to pump all that out back into the reservoir so you get a good gauge of your oil level, oil pressure, and then when the engine starts, goes back in. So yes. Yeah, Cynthia, I mean, I still get ear pops every once in a while when I fly. And we don't fly very high. We go up to about 4,000 feet, like max. We can go more. But for the maneuvers that we do, we don't need to go that high. And so that is, that's something to think about. Donnelly, how are you? I'm glad to see you live as well. We're in the chat. You've had a bad weekend. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but you know what? Let's take that out of the picture. That's what I always tell people. My videos, my content should be something where you go into it and you forget the world. My instructor tells me that. He's like, Rick, when you get in that plane, I don't care if you got fired. Like, I don't care what happened at your house. Like, if you're not prepared to fly, you don't fly. But you take all of your problems and they're out that plane. They're not in there. Why? Well, because you need to really focus. And right now we're focusing on enjoying ourselves, having fun, talking about Lucy, talking about Fred going, holy cow! And then Lucy trying to escape into the bullfighting ring. We got to talk about that stuff. Absolutely. Thank you, Jens, for encouraging the others in the community. See, that's what I wanted to create, a community where we all support each other. Very, very true. Okay, let me get back on track here. Well, I'm glad, Alondras, that you made it to the live stream. Do you still have your GIF image where it's like you're moving in your photo? I think you know what I'm talking about. Stay hopeful. I like it. Very, very good. Katie asks, in an episode where Ricky thought Lucy was stealing things, do you have any trivia about the baby elephant? Oh, I do. I do. I have some information about the elephant and about remember the horse? Remember the horse that was in Pioneer Women and Ricky comes home on the horse? Yes. I have to make an episode because there's a lot on that, and I just want to say, I'll just say that the horse was difficult. There was a lot of difficulty in that horse. Now with the elephant, I can't give you much because like not a lot is coming to the back or to the front of my mind. But I'm gonna have to look at my notes because I have written notes on that and I haven't made a video on it. But that might be great for a future video. Someone gave me another idea, which I'm gonna do. I have so many ideas. Cynthia says, amen, amen. I agree with the instructor. He's so right. Seeing the sights and so beautiful. The view must be beautiful and breathtaking. Well, it is. If you've seen my videos, you can see it's gorgeous. Of course, since I have the camera out, it's sometimes hard to point the camera and look down, but the camera, I think, doesn't replicate the beauty of like looking down. And you know how you look at the ocean and you see like the waves are huge? The waves look so tiny and it's like so uniform. It almost looks fake, and you see the little cars are like ants. Like, it's just amazing. It makes everything look like trivial. It's like, wow, like if I had a little problem, my problem with work or whatever, I can see it's like my problem is like down there. Like, isn't that crazy? It's insignificant. Like, it can blow away. Like, you know what I mean? And so that's one of the good things of flying. It's when I go there, it's like it recharges you. You know, it really recharges you. So Arthur, you haven't seen all the comedy hours. You're lucky if you've seen 2, but they sound hokey and depend on sight gags a little too much. Let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think they're a little hokey? You know, Arthur, they have a different feel. I can't tell you that they don't. They do. And the reason is because they're not dependent on being in the studio. And so you don't get that original feel of, you know, the live studio audience and so forth. And a lot of these Desi Comedy Hour episodes were done off-site, not in front of a live studio audience. Some parts were. Some episodes were. But some weren't. Some were almost exclusively off-site. And that's just the nature of the beast. I mean, they were hour episodes. They had to leave. They had to do all these things. And so, I mean, that complicates it. That makes the fact that the laugh track basically had to be added in those moments. Like, people, they had to let the audience watch that on a screen instead of watch it live. And it is different. It does give a different feel to it. Well, Londres, I'm with you on that. I was taking a look at the Havana, the first Comedy Hour episode. They had 3 made. They had Cesar Romero, they had Ann Southern, and they had Rudy Valley. Like, that's heavy on, you know, actors and well-known names. And that's what they were trying to do. They were at the point where they were kind of showing off their star power. I don't think in a bad way, but it was like, we're making this bigger and better, and it got extreme. It's like those Spider-Man movies, or the Batman movies where, you have, I like The Dark Knight because it was like one main villain, Joker, and then you have Scarecrow appear. That's about it. But then, like, you get to Batman and Robin, you have Poison Ivy, you have Bane, you have Mr. Freeze, and you have, like, it's all these villains, and it's like, it's too much. It's too much. How much time do you give to each one? And there's Maurice Chevalier in the back of the trunk. Kippy Boo, you don't like the last 3 episodes. Let me just make sure what those are. I know it's the Japan, the mustache. What's the one before that? Is it the Burl? I'm a big fan of Merton Burl, so I like that one. Yeah, I really do like the Milton Berle episode a lot, because I'm a big fan of Milton Berle. I like how they were hanging off that main crazy thing. I do like that one, but the Japan one I don't really like much. I think it's better than the mustache. I think the mustache was the worst one, the last episode. It was just too sad. It wasn't even really funny to me because I knew what was going on behind the scenes. You could feel it. There's an atmosphere if something's not right. Yes. What do you think of the Lucy show where it was just Lucy and Vivian? Great question, Katie. I'm not a fan, to be honest with you. I think they did have good moments, but I keep watching it. It feels like there's something missing. There's not enough. I miss Fred, the character. I miss Desi. I love Desi and Lucy's chemistry in the show. That's undeniable. And the fact of, like, Lucy, when she got her nose lit on fire. Okay, remember that. I was looking at the scene. Like, look at it really closely. Notice how Desi's there. He's bugging his eyes out. He's looking at her nose. Like, this is what a comedy team does. They feed off of each other. And then you have Bill Holden. Desi was the straight man to Lucy, and Ethel was that as well, but Ethel and Lucy had a different type of chemistry. So when they were together, there was something missing. You don't have the Desi chemistry, and Gil Gordon cannot replace Desi. And I think that's what they kind of did. Not that he was like a husband, but he was like the male straight man. Straight man meaning, when there's someone who's like always funny and crazy, there's the straight man person like Laurel and Hardy. Straight man, right, was, now I got him mixed up. Laurel was the skinny guy, right? The skinny guy, he was the funny guy, and then Hardy was the straight man, as they call him. So, yeah. Christine, Cheebs, thank you for making it. Thank you for being here. Awesome. You guys are all coming on the chat, which is awesome. Jims, you really like the first half of the Tallulah Bankhead episode. Celebrity Next Door. Not crazy about the second half. So I'm guessing you don't like the theater aspect when they were doing the play and they were trying to, mess up the play. So you like... See, that episode for me was like everywhere. First it was in their house, and then it was in her house, and then it was in the play. I mean, but I guess that's how a lot of these episodes are, right? Havana, it was everywhere. But like this one in Mexico, they were at the border, then they were in the hotel, then they were in the bullfighting. I guess that's everywhere too, but that was more of a chase type episode. And I do like the chase concept. I think that's always been my favorite. I mean, Terminator is a chase concept, Rat Race is a chase concept. It's a man world, same thing. Yes. Arthur, I'd have thought just knowing Desi and Romero, they wouldn't have gotten along. Do you mean their chemistry on screen or off screen? Because I don't know much about them and how they were on or off screen. But if you do have any information on any sources, I would love to know. You like the Havana one, Cheebs? Very interesting. You watched Lucy Must Have Mustache again the other day and I got a little depressed. Kippy, I'm with you. I don't watch that one on purpose. Like, I need to watch it sometimes to refresh, like, what has happened. But I'm with you. It gets me depressed. There's just this tone. Like, even when they're funny, it's not funny to me. There is just this, like, cloud, this rain cloud on top. And see, even this episode, Lucy in Mexico, like, they did fight and stuff in the beginning. It's part of the story. But at the same time, I mean, it's a funny episode. I think it's pretty cool. Yes, Christopher. Bill Frawley is so underrated. If you take a look, I have a few episodes on Bill Frawley's like best moments or the funniest moments. Take a look at those. He's hilarious on his own. And again, missing him, I think, was a big portion of the show leaving. I mean, it was a thing. It was a thing. It's like when you make a cake, you need all the ingredients to make that perfect cake. You know, take out the flour, what happens? Take out the eggs, what happens? I mean, it's possible. You could still make one. Take out the milk, what happens? You know, you need all those things. Take out the sugar. Sugar, milk, flour, eggs, right? So take out the eggs. Take out the milk. So you just have the flour and the sugar. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's my perspective on it. I know a lot of people love the Lucy show. I used to watch it. I just don't think it comes up to I Love Lucy par or I Love Lucy quality. Yeah. Kara, Desi had great facial expressions and reactions to Lucy's stuff. See, that's what I mean. Sometimes I would kind of laugh at Lucy, but then I would see Desi's reaction and I would laugh more, and then it was like their chemistry of their reacting together and him like getting mad at her and her being all innocent. That was hilarious. You know, I mean, I don't think Gilligan's Island would be as funny with just Gilligan or with just the skipper. I mean, they were both a team, a comedy team. Katie, I wonder if the episode with the chicks was stressful to film. I think so. They had actual chicken wire between the audience. I think it was logistically a nightmare because they had the cameras, they had a live studio audience, the chicks were running around, and they wanted them to do certain things. And so, yeah, it was tough. It wasn't impossible, but they had to practice a lot for that. I'm with you on that. Sweet Pea, did anyone ever get hurt during a scene? Yes, absolutely. There was once where Desi had to go to the emergency room. I can make an episode on that for you guys if you're really interested. But nothing serious. Like, it wasn't like a heart attack or anything like that. I think he pulled the ligament. But to the point where he couldn't walk and he had to go. Again, I can make an episode on that. Ever see Lucy-Desi, a home movie documentary that Lucy Arnaz produced? It was very good. Kind of sad in places. Yeah, a lot of their real life stuff was sad to me. I kind of avoid it, to be honest with you. I have seen it, but I try not to rewatch them. That's why I love Lucy, because it's the chipper, call it a fantasy, but then anything we watch is a fantasy, right? Disney movies, or it's all a fantasy. That's the whole point. And we want this fantasy to entertain us, to make us laugh, to make us cry, to make us wonder, to make us think. All these things. And so that's why people like comedies, because they want to laugh, they want to have a good time. People want action, they want to be made to feel like powerful or something conquered, you know. Romance, they want to feel the feeling of love, you know. And so all these things, that's what's powerful about all these mediums, and they strike our emotions if they're done well, and we create it, you know, it becomes, we're bonded to them. And I think some of these actors, believe it or not, I think some of them don't understand that. They don't understand unless they watch it or have their own heroes. Like, they don't understand how they can create something like that. But they create a true fantasy for us that is, like, amazing. Like Star Trek. Star Trek has moved me to tears so many times, and I don't cry. Like, I don't cry. I think I've cried more, like, watching a couple episodes of Star Trek that really moved me than, like, real life. Like, to be honest. And it's, like, amazing. All right. For corn's sake. And butter. I forgot butter, Ash. How can you forget butter? See what I mean? You need all of it. Desi makes you laugh the most. Do you like when he used to laugh, when he used to go... So Laundress, Mr. Howell brings something special. He's great, too. He's like, Gilligan, my boy. Come here. Come here, Gilligan. He's a Yale man. I don't know. It's just... It was so great. Again, they're all great in their own way. Marianne was the cute one. She wasn't as funny. Even the professor and his nerdiness was funny. You know, it's just all of it. Okay, let me see here. Was it the Lucy show where her kids and Wayne Newton came on? Probably, because I've never seen that one. And if they're her kids, then absolutely, because her kids really weren't in I Love Lucy, except for Desi Jr. in the last statue episode. So if both her kids... Probably Chris. I'm not a huge watcher of the Lucy show. Christine Cheeb, so what do you think of all these reboot shows? Do you think they can make a modern version? So, like, which reboot shows? Can you give me examples and I'll give you an idea of what I think? Some I think are alright, some I think they're not. I Love Lucy modern version. Oh no, stay away from that. I Love Lucy modern version. Now you can do a movie on them, like a documentary, that's fine. But if you're gonna remake the show and do like season, no, 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 I would highly protest that. Jim's, yes, she was very quite serious and not funny, and a tad bit on the "why are you so serious, Lucy" side. Oh, absolutely. Happy Sunday. Happy Mardi Gras. Really? Is it Mardi Gras? Wow. Is Ash Wednesday's coming? That is nuts. Star Trek, a Desilu production. Absolutely. Untouchables, a Desilu production. Andy Griffith, a Desilu production. There's a lot of stuff. And I would even say Star Wars is because of Star Trek. Star Trek came before, it inspired Star Wars. And not to belittle Star Wars, although what it is now isn't what it was before. I'll just say that. Oh yeah, Skippy, when Desi would laugh at Frawley. He would always laugh at Bill Frawley. Bill Frawley was hilarious to Desi. Absolutely. You know what, Katie? It was really hard to mute stuff back then. What they would do was, there are a few times where you hear the baby crying. Oh, excuse me. They would mute the baby, and then they would put it on top, and then they would put laughs on top. What is it called? Foley, right? They would Foley it, and they would basically do sounds over it. But it's really hard. It was done very sparingly and only when necessary. So I don't think to his laugh, but it was done to like the baby's laugh. Because sometimes the baby would like cry, or what is that? Sometimes the baby would like cry at like bad times, and it was like, oh, this is not great. And so they would have to do that because it would obscure some lines, and they would have to redo the lines. Arthur Frawley. Amazon's supposed to produce an I Love Lucy movie. You know, I have a lot of faith in these Netflix shows. Now, Netflix has amazing shows, like Netflix originals. I'm sometimes better than these big studios like Warner Bros. Like, sometimes some of that stuff that you see there isn't that great anymore. And so, Ash Wednesday's on Valentine's Day, and Easter's on April Fool's Day. Awesome. Thanks for letting me know. You guys are awesome. See, look at that. You get me all informed, and it's so great. It feels so good. Like, I don't have to look it up. Oh my gosh. So, Valentine's Day is like 3 days away, isn't it? Oh man. You know when you like life happens and you forget about that stuff? That is crazy. April Fool's is awesome. It's on Easter. Wow, that is cool. I love Easter. They seem to be remaking everything now, but certain things are better left. Oh, absolutely. A lot of it is money. They just want to make money on something that they don't have to really work on a story. The main story's there, and they can tweak some things. You can really hear Desi laugh in the background on the ballet. Absolutely, Kippy. That is the number one that I would mention that you can hear him very, very prominently. Lost in Space. Look at that. I don't know if I haven't seen the original. So I don't know how good it'll be, but you know, who knows? Sometimes some things are redone well. Like, okay, the Star Trek that they remade with the J.J. Abrams isn't the original Star Trek. For me, it's like an alternate, you know, kind of thing. Like Ben Affleck being Batman, to me, that's horrid. I'm sorry if you guys are Ben Affleck fans, but I'm a really, really big Batman fan. Like, I have posters. I have like, I was made a costume when I was a little boy. Like, my great grandma made me a costume that I would wear. I have everything Batman. Batman's my life, and so I'm very keen into the character and who I think should play him. And Ben Affleck to me was super. I can't even watch it. It's so cringy. I'll leave it at that. Scott, the real emotion between Desi and Lucy because they were actually married and love each other was one of the things that yeah, I'm with you on that. Absolutely. And can you guys name me maybe other shows where real husband and wife were on it? Not many. Well, Full House, I've already been watching, to be honest with you. Fuller House. Roseanne, I've never really been a fan. Boy Meets World, that was canceled. The Boy Meets Girl, that was canceled, I believe. And I know some of you like Roseanne. I respect that. I just can never get into it. And I have watched a good amount of episodes. It's just not my thing. But see, the thing is, I think it's good to you know, watch different shows, or maybe some people don't like certain shows, some people do, but we got to respect each other and be like, okay, But we come together with certain things, like whether it's Lucy, whether it's the Stooges or Aviate, whatever it is, we come together, and so that's very good. There's Lucy now talking to the bull, which is funny because she's like pulling on the bull's horns, and there's a lot of interesting shots because some are fake. That's not a real bull at sometimes. Other times it's not really Lucy. There's a lot of cuts, and I think that was really well done because you can't have Lucy really pulling on a bull. Like, that's dangerous, right? And so at other times you can see the bull's like he's like there's a harness on his neck, so he won't really do anything. And so I don't know, I think they did pretty well in some of these shots. Like that part, he's attached to the camera. It's like a gurney. It's like a fake head. And then there are other shots of the actual bull salivating and everything. I can see where some people now may have an issue with the episode because of the bullfighting theme, but you really don't see the bull hurt at all. And now I think that has to be a cow, and they stuck horns on it or something. Like, that's what I think it is. Because if I'm looking at him, or looking at what I see as a bull, it doesn't seem like there's any male parts. I don't know, that'd be funny if it was like, you could see the... I'll just leave it at that. Your dad loves old westerns like Bonanza, Rifleman. Are you a fan? No, not really, to be honest with you. I do like westerns. 310 to Yuma was awesome. I think I'm very specific with the westerns that I like. I love The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I love Clint Eastwood stuff. But not a lot of the TV shows. I don't know. I never got into them. But see... As you grow older, or as I grow older, I noticed that I like things I didn't like before and so forth. Like, I used to always love Lucy. Then there was a point where I just stopped. Like, I thought it was really uncool to watch Lucy. Then I got into it now, and I think I'm the biggest fan now, ever, in my life, at this point. And so even before I would watch it, but I didn't know anything about the show. I thought it was kind of hokey. I was like a secret Lucy fan, you know? You're reading Carol Burnett's book. Lucy was her show, right? Yeah, Lucy was on... Well, Carol Burnett was on Lucy's show. Carol Burnett was on... Yeah, the Lucy show. That's where she got her start. So I'm sure you've read at that point. Yeah, like, I could definitely tell Sweet Pea that, you know, there was like a fake at certain times and so forth. But what I really, really enjoyed was that it was just so, like, they would move around so much that you were at the point where you kind of caught it, and then they changed it on you. Same thing with Back to the Future, the hoverboard scenes. The director, Bob Zemeckis, said he would change the strategies all the time and the effects, so you kind of couldn't pinpoint how they were doing it. I think that's always great. Blabtag, yeah, the Women from Mars episode, Lucy is envious. Nothing to do with what the episode was about, right? At the end, when Ricky and Fred put that was... Lucy dropped her napkin, looked like it was an accident. Was it planned? Yeah, I mean, I don't think it had to fall in that way. Like, I think that's what you're saying. Yeah, but there's little things like that. I guess you can say it's a blooper. It was an accident. But those are, like, small, trivial things. They could still be included, though. But yeah, little things like that will happen and you improvise. You just pick it up. You know, you don't really say much and you act like it was part of the show. Oh yeah, Arthur, too cool for school attitude. I mean, yeah, I was a little high school nerd. And so, I mean, I was also focused on my schooling and stuff. But, you know, your friends would ask you what were you into. And you couldn't say, I love Lucy. You know, you're a 15-year-old guy and you had to, like, I don't know, war movies. Which I do like, but, like Tears of the Sun. Oh, I love Tears of the Sun. Black Hawk Down. I do have my fair share of liking those movies there. Chris, great question. I'm kind of glad because the episode's ending and we got to end on this note. And if you guys don't know this, you should know this. Did Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz ever reconcile after they divorced, or were they became friends when they got older? So very good question. So they got divorced, but I want you to understand that meant they weren't husband and wife. They didn't live together, but they stayed in touch. They never stopped loving each other. Absolutely gems. They still would get together. They would hang out. Excuse me, sorry about that. I thought that was off. They would go together. They would see their kids. they would see their grandkids, they still would like kiss each other like on the cheek and stuff, and their respective husbands and wives, because they both remarried, didn't mind. They knew there was this love, like unconditional love, like put everything else aside. It was weird. It was like they loved each other, but they didn't work as a couple. Does that even make sense? I don't know. I think some of you may understand, some of you may not. I think as you grow older, you understand it more. That's all I can tell you. But yeah, they stayed very good friends, and Desi used to still send her flowers all the time. And not like secret. This wasn't like secret from their spouses. Like Desi married Edie Hirsch, I believe, and Gary Morton married Lucille Ball after. But they knew. Like they would get flowers from Desi, and Gary Morton was like, oh, okay. Like he felt it was easier to get along with Desi, and they got along well. It was even said that Gary Morton called Desi his husband-in-law, and they would all hang out and they would all have family gatherings. So, well, that's weird or not, I don't know, but that's what happened. Lucy was a perfectionist. No ad-libbing pretty much at all. Yep. Kibby, no one else seems to have heard of I Love Lucy. It's not on TV in England anymore. Oh, that's unfortunate. You got to introduce him to it. You gotta introduce him to Lucy. Tell your friends about it. They'll fall in love. Believe me, I've shown people Lucy and they thought it was like, but then they watch it and they're like, yeah, this is a really good show. So, I don't know. Try. They love each other, just not in love. I guess that works. That's a great definition. All right, guys and gals, I have to go. I have to eat. I have to see who called me. It's a weird number. They have no idea who that is. But I will see you next time, guys and gals. Thank you so much for your support. Don't forget, if you're interested in the one-on-one chat, I have some slots available. Links are all in the description. My Instagram, my Facebook. Join my Facebook if you're not on that, so that you can see when I put new videos and news. Also consider looking at my Patreon. You might enjoy looking at that. Dinner time for some of you people. Awesome. I'm ordering in, so I'm not driving anywhere. But thank you so much, and I'm glad. Hopefully this cheered you up. Stay positive. It's a new week. Today's a new week, new start. Good stuff is happening. So we'll see you all next time, guys and gals. Don't forget to stay positive as always, and don't forget, be hopeful.